Here, I'm going to talk about Introduction to Religious Renewal, Part 3. Discussing matters of religion is always thorny, complex, and fraught with risk for believers, for it requires venturing into realms of human consciousness that lie beyond the sensory mind, namely, revelation and theology. Revelation and theology are difficult to approach through reason alone, yet equally difficult to comprehend without reason. This tension lies at the heart of the problem. To what extent can reason be applied to sacred texts, to their interpretation, and to their explanation? This question has been a central topic of debate and controversy throughout Islamic history. It was addressed first by theologians, such as the Mu'tazilites and the philosophers, then by the Salafists, and later by the Ash'arites, until the discussion finally took on its current form. Today, however, humanity has acquired new intellectual tools and insights. We now live in an existential reality unknown to earlier generations, in which human consciousness has been transformed by the advent of modernity and postmodernity. This shift renders earlier interpretations and frameworks limited by the conditions of their time. It calls for a new generation of men and women willing to plunge into the depths of religion, to uncover its hidden dimensions, and to articulate new understandings that can enrich and build upon the efforts of those who came before. Within Islamic civilization, jurisprudence, fiqh, has historically held the highest status in rationalizing, expanding, and systematizing the Sharia, to the point that it has often been equated with the very image of religion itself. Islam, in this view, came to be understood primarily as the knowledge of religious obligations and the correct ways to fulfill them, rooted in the relationship between Lord and servant that defines much of Islamic thought. Yet, in exploring other religions, we encounter dimensions of Islam that were not always fully visible. Islam presents itself as a collective and comprehensive religion, bold in its propositions, liberating faith from the intricacies of Christian theology and the narrow particularism of Jewish nationalism. It offers a universal vision for all people, grounded in principles and thought. This vision gave rise to distinctive Islamic disciplines, jurisprudence, hadith, and theology, each of which achieved unique greatness. At the same time, we must acknowledge the pitfalls of violent fanaticism into which segments of Islam have fallen in the modern era. The Quran itself trained the believer to test faith with reason, combining rational inquiry with revealed tradition in varying degrees throughout history. Nonetheless, we must also recognize that the trajectory of the early Muslim mind was not always guided by reason. It was shaped by political struggles and social realities, which in turn influenced the codification of texts, methods of interpretation, and the overall development of Islamic thought. Historically, Islam came after Judaism and Christianity, yet in principle it traces its origins back to Abraham and the building of the Kaaba. Islam broke free from the exclusivity of God's only chosen people and the doctrine of salvation through Christ alone. Instead, it returned to the roots of religion, laying the foundation for a new monotheistic project that it called the tolerant Abrahamic Hanafi faith. Our present task is to probe these very foundations, to uncover the first principles upon which Islam was built, and to formulate a new, comprehensive, monotheistic Abrahamic vision. In doing so, we deliberately avoid being bound by the inherited axioms of the ancients, not because those principles are false, but because they should not stand as barriers between us and a deeper understanding of the origins and essence of faith. Written and prepared by Abdelmoumin Ahmed. Thank you.